Urban Chestnut Zwickel, Bier Nummer 1. Hey, it's Brainmuffin back with another beer review, and here we have from Urban Chestnut, which is in St. Louis, Missouri, via Kendo Slice of World Class Bullshitters. We have Zwickel, which is in the Reverence series number 1. Now he was said off camera he was going to talk about that series, and he never did, and that's my fault. So maybe I'll look it up, maybe I won't. But basically, it sounds like they're doing these beers in reverence to these various styles. So number 1 is a Bavarian Style lager. So I expect this to be nice golden color, have a nice white foamy head. And again, we have their strange can. It'd be awesome. And I got the Germany T-shirt. So, but I'm gonna do it in English. I'm not gonna do it in German. Every once in a while, I'll do some of these parts in German. German's not that good, and I'm not that confident. I've gotten way too much. Oh. Right on the nose. There we go. Nice golden color, creamy white head. So far, so good. I guess I over poured that. No worries, it'll slowly. So lagering is to store. So that usually these are cleaner, crisper, more what they call drinkability. They tend to be smooth, not a lot of bitterness. Unless you get a hoppy lager, which you're starting to see IPLs. So, true to Bavarian style, although it is a bit cloudy, which it shouldn't be at all. So even if it's in the can, it should be very, very clear, and it is not. So that's a stretch. It has Pilsnery characteristics, but it's not technically a Pilsner. Maybe if it was clear, it'd be a Pilsner. So you have noble hops in these usually, Says and Hallertau, and a bunch of others I don't remember. But I definitely smell Hallertau in here. So let's see what we got on the can. Pronounce Zwickel, which I already pronounced correctly, so don't worry about it. The flagship lager of our Reverend series, classically crafted, timeless, unpasteurized German classic that finishes the smell. It doesn't say. So that's why it's cloudy, because it's unfiltered, unpasteurized. So I stand corrected. So there we go. But it does have the noble hop characteristics that I would expect of Bavaria. So Bavaria goes right up against what is now the Czech Republic. And that's where the original source of Saaz and has S-A-A-Z and Hallertau. And the noble hops and the Pilsner. Pilsen is a town in Czech Republic, and that's where true Pilsners can only come from there. But that style became very popular in southern Germany, and then kind of swept into the rest of Europe. But yeah, that's very nice. So it finishes well, starts very well. So I stand corrected on the cloudiness. It's supposed to be that way, or at least that's on purpose. That's their interpretation of the style. It's well balanced. It has some hop characteristics, so you're going to get a little bit of spiciness from the hops, kind of these flavors. I wouldn't say hot. It's not hot spiciness, but this concept of spicy. So there's some flavors and things that are just kind of a mismatch. There's no, but it's not bitter, and it's very smooth, which you expect from a lager, from especially a German lager. It has good drinkability. It is carbonated very nicely. You have decent head retention. So ideally, you do this in a more of a fluted glass, and the last 2 inches should be all foam. I know Americans get all hung up on the foam, and it must be coming from the British, because the British do these shaker glasses too. This is a pint, and you go right to the top. You have no head space there. It's just stupid. If you're going to get 16 ounces, the glass should be about 18 to 19 ounces, and the last bit be all foam. And if you get in Germany, you'll have a line that they'll fill to, like a half a liter, and there'll be that much space above it, and that's all foam, and that is exactly the way it should be. It's nice and creamy. You get some head retention, and that really enhances the flavor. It really brings the flavor to the nose. It brings the carbonation will scrub the tongue and bring the flavor to the mouth. When they're flat and you have no head on it, you know, there's lots of jokes there, and they're all true. So I'm going to check into this beer. But that's a solid performer. That is very good. There's hints of almost like a hint of banana, but some kind of hint. And that's from the yeast being unfiltered and a little bit cloudy. It's not as cloudy as a Weiss beer or a wheat beer. The Weissbier is a white beer, but there's a wit ale, which is usually an ale, which is more in northern Germany and into Holland. That's also a wheat beer. And so the wheat gives it the more cloudy characteristics, because with the wheat malt, you don't have as big a strong backbone to have good head retention, so that's part of why they leave the yeast in. Plus you get vitamin B and other things like that. That is a solid 4. I mean, that is a really good representation of this style. It's not, there are some tweaks that can be done here. There's a little room for improvement, not a lot, so that's why it's a solid 4. It's almost a 4 1/4. It's very close, but it's not quite there. A little bit better on the balance would get a 4 1/2. And again, this is one of these beers I really like to try on draft, because I'm betting it's going to be at least a half a point higher on draft. So with a few little tweaks, I would give it a 4 1/2, and on draft probably a 5. Again, with a lot of these German beers, the food pairings are going to be very Germanic in their liking. That whole area, Bavaria and into Czech Republic, there's a lot of similarity. You had Germans on both sides of that border. So you get a lot of, and it's very influenced by Austria. Austria's right there. So Austro-Hungarian Empire, this is where your goulash starts to be a little bit spicier, not hot, but starts to have paprika that's flavorful but not hot. The more east you go, the hotter that paprika gets. The soil changes. Same plant, different soils. By the time you get into Hungary, it's very spicy. It's hot paprika, and a lot of the recipes are very similar. It's just the different meats and spices and things that make a difference. But definitely, this is going to be anything you want to grill. Any meat you can grill. Even fish would go okay with this, especially grilled. But you need that charbroiled flavor and environment and to go with this. It can be smoked, and you can have flavored grillings and stuff, hickory or whatever. But some of that, if you get careful, is going to overpower the beer, and the beer is just going to be there. So in part, what this beer is going to do is going to wash your palate, but it's also going to give you a little bit of flavor to enhance that food. There you go. So, so we have a solid 4. I'll check in. So thanks for clicking like, thanks for sharing, I appreciate it. I've been seeing more and more people are sharing and tagging me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter as Brainmuffin, and you'll see every time I post one of these, as well as, hey man, subscribe to the channel, and you'll also know when I post new videos. Thank you very much, and bye. All right, here we go. Doggies, be quiet. Got something on my elbow from Zwickel. Deutschen Bier Zwickel.